This is gonna be a tough video for me to make. I did not want to make this soon. I wanted to wait a little bit longer, but due to recent circumstances and just seeing like the messages that I'm getting and comments that I'm getting, I feel like I have to. I feel like we just got to get right into it. A few months ago, I went through some really, really hard stuff. Potentially the hardest place, the darkest spot I probably ever was in my entire life. And I genuinely got, like, the whole reason why I'm making this is because I'm seeing, like, especially a lot of the Christians reaching out to me and saying, like, I'm turning away from the faith, all this stuff. And again, you guys need to understand, like, as an influencer, like, I'm a human being at the end of the day. And I struggle with a lot of things at times. And God has pushed me through so many difficult parts in my life. And I have gotten through a lot of hardships by leaning on God. And I'm not going to lie, about 3 to 4 months ago, I went through a really difficult thing. And I did not want to talk about this really on social media, but absolutely destroyed me so much that it altered my person. And I'm now, over the last few weeks, been trying to get back to the original Alex and kind of undo the things that I did. I want you guys to know, this has nothing to do with the TRT thing. That was on my own will. There's nothing involved. But a lot of people have been saying, like, Alex, you've been partying more, going out more, drinking more, doing the cigars more, all that stuff. And, you know, I appreciate, like, this is where you got to understand, like, a lot of Christians are very, very judgmental. And you got to understand, like, take the log out of your own eye before you take the speck out of another. And the thing is, if you're going to call somebody out for sinning or being wrong, like, I understand it, but if you're going to call out a problem, you have to provide a solution, or else you're just adding negative flame to the fire. Like, if you actually care about someone, if you're going to call out that there's an issue, you got to also provide, like, a problem or the solution in a loving way. And I feel like all I've been getting is just, like, Christians bashing me and whatnot, and being like, yo, what happened to you? And, like, again, I'm getting back into my faith, and I need to explain what happened. 3 to 4 months ago, I went through the roughest period of my life. I went through the worst breakup I ever thought could be imaginable. And it hurt me so deep to my core that I almost gave up on everything. Basically, like, I'm not going to go into very, very specific details, I guess, of everything. But, I mean, if y'all saw I was living in Florida, I literally moved to Florida for this girl, right? I basically was with this girl, and she broke up with me back in, like, March, April. And, dude, I thought it was an amazing relationship. I drove down to Florida basically, like, begging for her back. This is like very, very long story in the shortest format I can make. And basically went down there begging for her back, which you should never do, which I've learned. And got her to get back with me, and it was pretty healthy for a while. And I actually moved down to Florida, to Orlando, where she was at, just so that we wouldn't be having issues from the long distance stuff. And still, and the thing is, moving down there, like, I isolated myself a lot. Like, I've got pretty bad abandonment issues from my past with my family, and, like, I was leaning a lot on this person, and I kind of cut out a lot of people out of my life. So I move down to Orlando, living there, not really knowing anybody around, and then out of nowhere, basically blindsided me and just left me, right? And it absolutely fucking destroyed me. Like, that shit killed, like, because at the time with the person, like, I don't want to go into detail on this stuff, really. Just know, bro, like, I got fucked over bad in this. And it's funny because I was talking to, like, people in my Discord Bible studies before this, when I was still together, like, about breakups. They would ask me how to get through breakups, and I provided such good information on how you can in a healthy way get over a bad breakup. And boy, did I not listen to my own advice whatsoever. I was pretty fucked up for a bit. Still living down there, not knowing anybody, so I'm getting very, like, down bad on myself, but I was leaning on God quite a bit at the time, like I usually would during hardship, and I did in the first time she broke up with me. She broke up with me a lot of times. And we're kind of in, like, a phase where, like, we still were, like, hanging out, seeing each other for, like, a few weeks after the breakup. And obviously I was trying to, like, salvage it and like, fix it. And I lost a lot of respect for myself because of the way I was acting, like, trying to almost beg for someone back. You should never do that. I was still seeing her, like, a little bit. And was like the person that I saw this life with was like changing in front of me, becoming very like mean and hostile towards me. And it was breaking my heart even more than the breakup actually did itself, because it was like the one person that I was getting a lot of my, which you never should do, but because I cut off so much people, the one person I was getting like my validation from and like my security from was like turning against me and being mean, and I saw them changing before my eyes, and it was breaking my heart. And bro, I got so lonely and isolated. Y'all think like the whole thing of social media is like dope, like, oh, I have all the money, cars, young age, clout, whatever. Bro, it isolates the hell out of you, because people take advantage of you, dude. I have like no friends anymore because of the amount of people who have taken advantage of me. If y'all will not see me hang out with anybody in the fitness industry really anymore, because I've just gotten fucked over time and time again, and like no one truly like, dude, it's lonely as hell. Like, it's super lonely because like everyone uses you, and that shit gets so isolating, bro, and it hurts your heart down, like deep down. So like for me to have like this one person left, and then for them to do me the same way, like I just felt so abandoned and isolated, and my trauma was kicking in from my past as a kid. Like, it just, everything piled on top of each other, and I was going through a lot of other stuff at the time, like with like social media, that like I hit a breaking point. And I don't know how much detail I can get into this. This is my second time having to record this, because the first one I started crying and I got into too much detail. But I basically got to a point where one night I came home and I turned my cell phone off completely because I didn't want anyone reaching out to me. And I like, long story, I'm good now, but long story short, like, never in my life did I get that close to like probably doing something that I probably like shouldn't have done. And if you don't know like what I just, if y'all know my life story, you probably know what I'm talking about. This time it got extremely close. It got very close. I'm thankful that I'm here right now. Very, very blessed. I'm not gonna go into specifics because I don't know like legally. I just want you guys to know that I'm good now. And honestly, it's probably a miracle that I am honestly here right now. But I'll just tell you guys, like, long story short, I know this is probably still a long story, is like, I hit my breaking point in life, just in life in general. It sucked because, like, honestly, I think a big issue with this is the relationship before that honestly really messed me up as well. It almost was like verbally, not almost, bro. The one before that was verbally abusive. I don't care. Like, it was verbally abusive before that. Like, I just got to a point where I felt so like unwanted and unloved from like everybody in life that I came into contact with, that I felt like God also stopped loving me and abandoned me. And in that moment that I eventually made it through, I made it through that night by God, obviously that's proof that God was still there. And yeah, but I hit my limit and I broke. And thank God that I was still, you know, we're still chilling. I'm good now. But after that night, which I will remember for the rest of my life, like, I started changing. I resented God for quite a bit. I'm gonna be straight honest with y'all, because I know I've always been trying to known for being vulnerable and telling y'all about like the mental battles I've struggled with in my life and being real with y'all. But turned away from God because I resented Him so much for that pain that I felt and that abandonment that I felt from everybody in life. And I started crashing out. I'm not gonna lie. I went on a few benders where I was drinking a shit ton. Like, I was drinking a lot. I went to the hospital one night. I was doing things I shouldn't be doing. I completely became the opposite of what Alex Eubank was really known for. And yeah, man. I bought like the STO. Like, I did a lot of shit trying to like just distract myself. And a few weeks ago, I got a DM from a friend that I, based on the circumstances, I'm not going to go into detail, but I knew the way it was out, I knew it was from God, and I knew it was God calling me back home. So since then, I've been slowly but surely trying to start repenting and getting closer to God again, but it's been absolutely destroying me, seeing, and almost pushing me away, seeing the amount of Christians who have just opened up, like crucifying me, like throwing more hate than the non-Christians in like my DMs and comments. Like, I feel like I could at least use some like uplifting in this time where I'm trying to get better again. And it's like, it's making me like afraid to even talk about my faith again, because like I feel like all they do is just criticize you. And it's like, when you talk about faith, it's like they expect you to be like a perfect human being, like a nun, like Jesus Christ himself in the flesh, and you should never have any fault or fail, which is just so the opposite of the truth. Like I am a broken man in need of a savior, like desperately right now. Like I don't feel God much right now around me at all, but I know like I am so broken in need of God so bad right now over these last few months. And like the last thing that I'd need to keep seeing is just like Christians just like telling me that like I'm bad, I'm wrong, I'm fake. Like I don't just like, it's actually like, bro, I can get hate from anybody in the industry. Y'all can talk so much like shit about like me on the TRT, all that, and it won't phase me. But the faith thing like rocks me, bro, to my core. So I just needed to explain to you guys, like I didn't want to have to go into detail, but I have to, because I guess being a social media personality and explaining to you guys like what happens behind scenes of why you might be seeing a little bit of a different me over the last few months. But I'm aware of it, and I'm going to get back to how I used to be. Y'all just gotta bear with me and support me on this, please. Like, give me some time, because that shit literally almost took me out. And you might be like, think it's dumb, like, oh, like, why would you let a girl do that all to you, bro? And like, I know it does sound whack, but bro, given the place where I thought, or at least at the time where her and I were at, like that was the last thing I thought was gonna happen, right? And for me, dude, I like, if you guys know like my ultimate dream, all I want in life is like a family, bro. Like my family was basically cooked and taken from me at a very like young age. Shit was cooked. Here, I'm gonna park on the. Hold up. There, you're good. You're good. I would give up everything in my life if it meant that I could just have a loving family that I could come home to every day and have sit at family home dinners and like Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners with. Like that's all I want. I don't give a fuck about none of the money, cars, or anything. If I could trade that for that, and an actual family, not to have to be by myself for like how I've been forever, like I would trade it in a heartbeat. So for me, the reason why that rocked me so hard was like I thought I was getting close to that, and then it just out of nowhere got cooked. So it broke me down, and I felt like I was just undeserving, and that never was going to be something that I was going to get. So that's kind of why that did that to me. It hit deeper for me than your average normal breakup, because like I'm at the point in life where like I can sustain all those things, and it was just ripped from me. But yeah, man, we're gonna get into the rest of the video. I'm gonna try and cut this up in a way that makes sense, but love y'all. God bless. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Code Alex on Rise, Young LA. Keep rocking with me, I hope, I pray. Stick with me through this time. Until next time. Yeah, so I appreciate y'all who listened to that whole spiel and whatnot, and we're going to be good moving forward, bro. I'm going to try and really lock in my faith and whatnot. I always just feel weird posting about it when I know my heart isn't completely right yet, because I don't want to feel like a hypocrite, so just give me some time, because I have to undo and fix a lot of things that I kind of messed up when I was crashing out. Anyways, started a whole new entire split. I've been seeing a lot of people, especially guys who are smarter than me in this whole lifting stuff, talk about how the high frequency approach is a lot more better than the, like volume. And when I say high frequency, it's just that, instead of hitting each muscle group once a week like you would on a bro split, you're hitting it 3 times a week. So I'm doing an upper-lower split. So basically I'll do upper body one day, lower body the next day, upper body the next day, lower body the next day. And then I honestly just take a rest day when I feel that it's best, when I feel like I need it. So I'm getting each muscle group hit about 3 times a week. So for the upper body days, what they look like, which is the one I'm filming in this, is I do 1 exercise for each upper body muscle group. So it's 5 exercises, 1 for shoulders, 1 for back, 1 for chest, 1 for bis, 1 for tris. And I do about 2 to 3 working sets to failure on each one. Smaller muscle groups, I usually do 2. The bigger ones, I'll do 3. So you'll see for here, I did chest. I've been really ripping on bench. I actually hit 315, like pretty damn easy with no straps or nothing after only benching for 2 weeks. So my strength is definitely getting up there. And then, yeah, so the science behind it, I believe what they're saying is that like you get more intense, like your first few sets in the gym are the most stimulating. It's where your muscles are the fresh. You contract the most amount of muscle fibers. You get the most amount of stimulus, the most amount of growth. Whereas if you're hitting like 16 sets for back one day, those last 8 sets are really not as, you're not really getting a big bang for your buck. So the principle of it is that you're still hitting, potentially 8 to 9 complete working sets to failure for each muscle group throughout the week. But out of those 8 to 9 sets, they were very, very optimal sets. They were when you were at your freshest, you're lifting the most amount of weight, you're contracting the most amount of those fibers, you're tearing the most amount of fibers down. Whereas, wasted sets, they're all pure, like, fire grade A sets that you're utilizing because you are focusing more on the intensity. And during those sets, really focusing on form, stretching and contracting the muscles, full range of motion, keeping tension where you want it at and not letting it go to other muscles. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try out for like the next 8 weeks or so. Honestly, dude, it's kind of crazy. I've been so sore on it. Like I'll only do like 3 sets for my tries or my biceps, and like they will be cooked. It's crazy. I think it's just because I'm really focusing on a lot of weight, but still keeping a full crazy range of motion. But that's the way I'm going to be training for the foreseeable future. So if you want to try it as well, give it a try, man. Upper lower split. We also did some posing. Here's how the physique is looking. I'm actually down some weight. So I weighed 182.5 the morning of this workout. That's fasted with no food in me after going to the bathroom. 182.5. So feeling pretty good. We dropped a little bit of weight. I don't know if it's from, honestly don't know what I dropped weight from. I didn't eat that much the last 2 days. I've only been really eating 2 meals a day, but of those 2 meals, I eat like a good amount of food. But yeah, man, that's how we're looking. We'll get on to the rest of the video. I made these Christmas cookies, with the Rise, like the Little Debbie Christmas protein powder, whatever. And they came out insane. I'm gonna show you how I make it. I don't know what the macros are. I would assume it's decently healthier, definitely better than crumble, but the peanut butter flavor with it tastes amazing. It's like, I don't know, it's like overnight oats, but in like a cookie form. So I'm going to show you how I made it. Code Alex gets you 15% off. They're going to be restocking the Little Debbie's protein very, very soon. So if you want to check it out, want to try it for the Christmas stuff, code Alex. I think I'm going to get back to doing my OG style of editing, or a lot of voiceovers and whatnot. Anyways, making the cookies, I wanted to show y'all real quick because it's actually fire. So it's just the protein powder, get some oats, mix up the dry ingredients first. Add in a little bit of oat milk into a bowl because you're going to be putting this over like a stove or a fire or something. Peanut butter with some honey, and then some like sugar-free stevia, like a sweetener, and then some cocoa, cocoa powder, a little bit of salt. I was eyeballing all these measurements, if I'm being honest with you. Got this recipe from Riser Fit, my boy. You melt all that, mist the vanilla, whatever it is, pour the dry ingredients in that together. They're going to freeze it overnight, or not overnight. You're going to freeze it so you can like make it malleable on a plate, and then you freeze it. There's also a massive Black Friday drop coming. I got everything folded up because I had to go do a try-on haul for y'all. So I'll probably have that potentially at the end of the video because it's going to be a 30% off sale. It's going to be huge, bro. Whenever Young LA does, like during the Gold Gym collab, the Black Friday stuff, it always goes absolutely like ridiculously insane.
Doing that right.